everyone, welcome back to another Makeup Artist Monday. It's artistry like bam. Alright guys, thanks so much for tuning back in this week. So this week we're going to be doing something really fun. I get asked all the time as a professional makeup artist, number one question is how to contour and highlight, and what is contour and highlighting. So today we're going to be using one of my favorite products, the Shade and Illuminate from Tom Ford, and I'm going to show you guys how to contour and highlight. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, stay tuned. Let's start off by asking what is contouring and highlighting. So contouring is actually creating shadows on the face to create a little bit more sculpting and a little bit more definition to the skin. Highlighting is actually bringing light to the surface of the face so that the light can capture and bring out different high planes of the face to make it look a little bit more sculpted, a little bit more illuminated, and so that's kind of what it does. Now, does everybody need to contour and highlight? No. I think that contour and highlighting is for three main things. A, photography. If you're going to be on video or flash photography, I think it's super important to kind of contour and highlight to sculpt the face so that everything looks really beautiful and cohesive on camera, and you have a really beautiful 3D sculpted face. I don't have anything on right now. We're going to do that together so I can show you guys how to do it. Rule number two why you should contour is if you have a little bit of a larger face and you want to slim your face a little bit, or if you have a wider forehead and you want to shrink your forehead a little bit. Contouring is great for those two things because it does create a little bit more of a chiseled jawline or a little bit more of a chiseled cheek and a little bit more of a sculpted forehead, so that way it brings a little bit more shading and a little bit more shadows to this area, so that way it doesn't illuminate those areas, so it actually recesses them and brings them closer into the skin, and then the lighter portions are going to bring them out. So when you kind of contour and highlight, it's bringing the darkness in one area and the lightness in one area. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. I'm going to stop rambling and we're going to get on to the Tom Ford contour and highlight. So it looks like this. I've actually deposited it in my kit. So this is the Shade and Illuminate side. It is a very like white, creamy, sheer cream product. And then the contour side looks like this. So it's a darker, more warm brown contour color, and this is a cream as well. So I'm actually going to take out a little bit of this, scoop it out, and put it on my Tom Ford palette. And I'm going to show you guys how we use it. So we're going to start with the contour first, so I'll show them together so you guys can see the color difference. There's a big shade difference, so don't get overwhelmed or scared. This can be applied very, very light layers and build it up. So we're going to start with the contour first, because I always like to start as a painting. You want to start with the darker areas first and then bring the lighter areas up towards the light. So the light is in front of me, and if I'm looking in a mirror, which I have my mirror right here, I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of this, scrape it out, apply it on the back of my palette so you guys can see. And the two brushes that I'm going to be using today for this is the Royal Langennickel. This is the Eye Contour Brush BOM13. It looks just like this. This is one of my favorites because it is a really, really fluffy, dense blending brush. And this is actually an eye contour brush, but it's a little bit too big for my eye shape, so I actually like to use it for highlighting. So I'm going to show you that. And then another brush that I really love using is the Dellum Tools. This is the 968 BDHD Phase 2 angled brush. So this one looks like this. This is from their Golden Triangle collection. You guys, if you buy any makeup brushes out there, this is absolutely one of my favorite makeup brushes because the handles are actually a triangular shape, so if you lay it down on the table, your brushes don't roll away. So as a makeup artist, I'm always setting things down and they're rolling off the table and I'm disappearing. So these brushes actually, when you set it down, it stays put. So that's actually one of my favorite features, and they're blue and really beautiful with this rose gold ferrule. They are synthetic, which is nice, and this one is really unique because it has kind of like a paw print shape, so you'll notice that it's flat on this side and that has a little bit more of a fluffy, dense application up here. So this one's really, really great for contouring, and I'm going to show you how to use this one. So we're going to go in with our contoured shade first. So I'm going to use a little bit of that on my smaller brush. I'm actually going to take just a couple passes, so you'll see I'm just picking up very, very small amounts. I like to start with light layers. So for my face shape, I'm male, obviously. I like to sculpt a little bit more chiseled, but if you're female and you like to sculpt a little bit more rounded, then you would actually want to use the contour to sculpt and hug rounded up in the jaw, and then you want to do an angular sculpted if you like more of a chiseled look, or if you have more of a square jaw. So I'm going to show you where I would apply this. So the Shade and Illuminate, I like to start from back on the ear, and then I'll go down in a couple of dots You don't have to do dots. You can do whatever works for you. You can do a line. This is just what I prefer. And then I'm actually going to take my larger brush and I'm going to turn it upside down so that the paddle style is flicking the product upwards. So you'll see I'm going to start by tapping the product into the skin. Very, very slight. You'll see how that's starting to build. And then I'm actually going to use the brush and flick the product upwards. So this is going to create more of a chiseled sculpt effect, and it's also going to create more of a rounded cheek effect too. So if you like a little bit of both, this technique from going underneath the cheekbone will give you a little bit more of a softed, chiseled look. So you guys can see just a little bit of that product gives me just a little bit more of that sculpted look. It looks a little bit more slender, and you can see how this side, it doesn't have that chiseled look. And we just used a tiny amount. So you can always build, you can always add more. Just for the video purposes, I'm going to add a little bit more, just so you can see what I'm doing. So start back at the ear. Just like this. This is one of my absolute favorite products to contour with because it's really creamy, it's sheer, it's blendable. So you guys can see how that's coming out like that. It's nice because it has a little bit of a red undertone to it, so it's going to give you a little bit of warmth. It's not a super, super gray contour, like something really ashy or really charcoal. I love those for contouring, but sometimes if you're doing it on yourself, it can get a little bit too dirty or a little bit too muddy. So you notice that I'm going right under the cheek and then blending upwards so that I can have this color, because it has a little bit more red to it. It's going to act as a little bit more like a bronzer too. You guys see that? Really beautiful, right? Alright, so let's do the forehead. So my forehead is a little whiter, and this is something that I personally don't like, but if you have the same problem that I do, or a similar issue, what you want to do is you want to sculpt and make the perimeters of the edge of your face a little bit softer. So what this contour is going to do is it's basically going to create a shadow here, so it looks like your forehead is pushed in a little bit, so that way it looks a little bit smaller. So I'm going to show you on this side. So I'm actually just going to apply it right at the high points of my face, just like that. And then use the same brush, same way, going upwards in towards the hairline. This is really beautiful because it creates a really seamless blend in the hairline, but it also sculpts the forehead and gives you a little bit more shrinkage if you need a little bit more shrinkage. Because girl, who don't like a little bit more shrinkage on the forehead, right? If you got a big forehead, like me. So you guys can see how the perimeters of my face are just being very, very softed, sculpted, and it has a little bit of that warmth and a little bit of that contour. So you can see how this side, there's more light and it's definitely coming forward. This is definitely coming forward. This is definitely being recessed, and it's showing me a little bit more of that sculpted look. So I'll get a little closer. You can see how natural it looks, really beautiful, really effortless, keeping it right under the cheekbone, right under the jaw, so that way the contour is a little bit higher, so that it gives me more of a rounded cheek and a little bit more of an angular sculpted cheek. If I go straight down towards the lip, it's actually going to bring the contour too close, and it'll make my face look a little bit more slender like this, and that's actually not what I want. I want my face to look more sculpted and a little bit softer and a little bit more defined. So you see how it looks? Alright guys, let's do the other side. So same thing, we're going to start from the back of the ear. I like to use the brush on this side, flick it upwards so you can see. So you see how it looks muddy before it gets better, right? And this brush really does do all the work for you. You'll notice that I'm just lightly flicking it onto the tops of my cheeks. Right there. So see, I started by placing the contour where it goes naturally to create that shading, and then I'm using the brush to flick and feather the product upwards. So that way it gives me those soft lines and nothing is really harsh or unblended. Just a little bit more right here. I'm going to go in a little bit more like we did on the other side. Just like that. So you can see that. This is really, really nice because it stays put where you want. You can do this under your foundation and put a little bit of foundation or concealer over it if you're trying to get more of a sculpted look from within. But if you like something a little bit softer, you can definitely do it. So now that my cheeks are contoured, I'm gonna go in and do the forehead just a little bit like we did on the other side. So like I was saying, if you like a softer look, you can definitely do this contour and then put your foundation over it, so that way the color doesn't sit right on top of the skin. But I like to have it look like this, and then I'll go in and brighten where I need it. So you'll notice that I applied it right on the corners of the forehead, and I'm actually just pressing up and away from the face and flicking the brush upwards towards the hairline, which is really, really simple, super easy. This product blends like a dream, you guys, I'm telling you. Look how pretty. Easy, right? Effortless, easy. It does have a little bit of that red undertone, so this is going to be a really nice contour color if you're more on the lighter or medium to tan skin tones. If you're a little bit deeper, this could pull a little bit too red, or it won't show up just enough. So there is a little bit of a deeper shade that you can use as well. So now you can see that my forehead is a little bit sculpted, my cheeks are a little bit sculpted, and I have a lot more color in the face. You can see that it's giving me more dimension and a little bit more of that warmth, which we both love, right? Alright guys, so now we're going to move on to highlighting. So highlighting, we're actually going to go on the high planes of the face. So the high planes of the face is where light is actually going to touch first. So that would be right here in the forehead, down the nose. You can see the light is hitting here and here, and the light is hitting here on the chin. So it really depends on what you want to highlight. I really like to highlight the tops of the cheeks and a little bit on my forehead because I like a little bit of glow. And this product is really sheer, and it does provide a little bit of that luminosity, a little bit of that glow. It kind of stays wet looking on the skin. It doesn't dry down in a way. So it gives you that really beautiful glossy, illuminated, light capturing effect. So I'm going to stop talking and we're going to get to it. So I'm going to scoop out a little bit of this product in the back of my palette, just like that. And I'm going to use the fluffy brush this time to apply it right to the top of the cheekbones. And you'll notice this is just going to give me that like wet, balmy, dewy effect, and it's just going to capture the light ever so slightly. And I'm just doing this right on top of the cheekbones, and you'll notice I'm using the smaller brush and tapping it in to not disrupt any of the product underneath. Sometimes when you do this motion, it can move a little bit of that product. Look how beautiful that is. Wow. So you can see in comparison to the other side, I have a little bit of a natural glow, a little bit of natural luminosity, but it's nowhere as beautiful as this like beautiful, rich, balmy highlight. Isn't that gorgeous? All right guys, let's do the other side. So you'll notice that I'm keeping it right on the high planes of my face, top of the cheekbone, and blending it outward. This is really, really key because you don't want to place your highlight too far down on the face. You don't want it to disrupt your blush, and you want it to kind of capture light just when you smile right there. Ever so slightly, high planes of the cheekbones. You can do under the eye if you prefer. That's also a really nice place to do it. But look how beautiful that glow is. So it gives me that contour, that sculpted look, but I also have a little bit of that glow, a little bit of that highlight. I'm going to go in with a tiny, tiny bit more, and I'm going to do it right on the center of my forehead. Just like this, to bring light to the forehead. So you can see it gives me a little bit of that glow, a little bit of that red carpet, like Hollywood fresh face look, which I love. Down the nose, just slightly, and then right on top of the cheekbone, and that's it. So contour and highlighting is going to be different for every single face shape and depends on what you're trying to create, but I love the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate products because they're super sheer, really buildable, very easy to apply. They blend like a dream, as you see. They create an effortless, glowy complexion almost every single time. They have really beautiful ingredients that are smooth, blendable, hydrated, and last a long time on the skin. You can see that you can create a little bit of a glowy effect, a sculpted effect, a bronzed effect just with these two products, and it's such a beautiful duality of shade and light. So it has a perfect name of Shade and Illuminate. I think they did a great job with this. Good job, Tom Ford. So if you guys like this video, if you like contouring and highlighting tutorials, if you want to see more of these types of videos, if you want to learn how to contour the eyes or the nose or the lips or any other part of the face or the body, please let me know, guys, and leave that comment down below. If you like this video, please subscribe. I would really appreciate it. I make new videos every single Monday, and I really love doing these videos for you guys. As a makeup artist, this is so fun for me, and I just really love to share all my knowledge with you guys and show you some new fun tips and tricks. So thank you guys for watching, and until next Makeup Artist Monday, I'll see you soon. All right, bye guys.